Hi, welcome to my channel. I have recorded this video about 3 different times over the course of 4 months. Um, if you, by the title, you already know that I'm going to be talking about my new book that I am releasing in less than a month. Very bad at advertising, clearly. Okay, that's not the point. The point is that this book is very emotional impact for me, and I know with people who are going to pick it up are going to possibly also feel that emotional impact, which is what I'm trying to create. At the same time, it is what it is. So Dear is a collection of letters written from the point of view of someone struggling with mental health. And I currently have my first proof of the book here, talking about what I was going to be end up writing and eventually publishing. I know I recorded a clip that basically said that I wasn't sure if I wanted to release this book, but something did end up happening, which impacted how I was feeling, and I decided to rush the coming out of this book. I was going to wait to publish this around mental health awareness, but I ended up in publishing it months before, and it is getting published in March. I will not tell you why I chose the date that I did, why it's coming out in March, but just know that that is connected to me. But this book is very personal for me, for the reason why I wanted to write it. Sorry, I don't know if you could possibly hear it, but I have two different sounds going on right now. I have rain sounds on my Alexa, and YouTube was just playing music. Okay, but yes, Dear is something that I've been working on since probably like early 2025, and it's currently February of 2025. I mean 2026, and it actually came to me after I was struggling with my own mental health, which is I say is this book is kind of like emotionally impactful for me, but it's possibly also gonna be for others if who pick up the book and might have been dealing with mental health, known someone who has been dealing with mental health, and essentially that's basically what this book is like letters writing to friends, family, um, maybe a significant other. I don't know. There wasn't one I had in mind when I was writing these, but basically anyone who is in your life and may not know what you're struggling with or not know what they're struggling with, um, or just someone who has impacted your mental health, maybe in a negative way, maybe in a positive way. So that is what Dear consists of. Okay. I'm just going to read you the author note. The letters is a collection of writings written to the reader. Letters written or never written, given or never received. This idea came to me in mid 2025. It was early 2025, after having a moment with my own mental health. The quote from The Perks of Being a Wallflower, I kind of wish he left a note, came to mind while I was writing this. It got me really thinking about all the loss and families left without ever knowing why or having something to help in their grief. By writing the letters, I really tried to play around with the tone and message each letter gives. Of course, there are long ones and short ones. I have tried to dive into what I will say to my family and friends, or things I will want to tell them that I never have before. It might seem like the writer is getting better, and then not. It is to show the highs and lows of mental health. There is a regression that comes with progression. There is no clear ending for the writer because not every story is the same and will have the same path. The hope and belief is that the writer does get better and achieve what they want, whatever it may be. In the midst of me writing the letters, I decided to read and listen to the book, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Listening to the book was a much different experience than watching the movie. For me, it felt like I was the person Charlie was sending his letters to. That is the type of experience I want to give you and other readers when you pick up this book. This book will be the most meaningful thing I will probably write in my career. The part about the perks of being a wildflower is actually very much true. Um, I think I saw the perks of being a wildflower the first time when I was probably in high school, and I watched it for the first time by myself because I think I watched it with other people the first time. But when I first watched it with by myself, I really felt something with Charlie. And I kind of like tried, kind of like understood the movie a little bit better, especially because I was a little bit older and probably about the same age as Charlie when as he is in the movie. And then while I was writing this, I listened to the book, and the book is a totally different experience. Like, I'm a firm believer in like book to movie or show adaptations are not gonna give you what you need from the book, just because the book is like sometimes it goes, they give you a different perspective and you see the book in a different light. So for me to watch the movie and then go to the book, it was a very different experience, and I felt like more connected to Charlie by listening to the book. But like I also talk about in my author note is that the writer, me, but not really me, um, goes through a bit of a roller coaster or like they feel in feelings. I mean, there's hatred, there's love, there's understanding, and there's just sadness, maybe some anger, acceptance. For right now, like I said at the end, is that this is probably the most impactful thing that I write, just because of the fact that struggling with mental health, I feel like we all need someone or something to keep us going, and sometimes we need to write a letter, sometimes we need to color, sometimes we need to go for walks, sometimes we need to go bang boxes, walls, throw stuff at people, whatever it may be to get, or read a book. Um, for trash. To get like you through your mental health. And while I've had a person who came into my life for about 2 years who had a positive impact on my mental health. Um, but there were still moments where I was struggling with my mental health that they didn't know about, and they didn't really know that I was struggling with my mental health. So I couldn't really rely on them too much, but it was still the fact that that person was there. And sometimes we just need that. So even if we don't have that, like, okay, so kind of like Charlie in The Perks of Being a Wildflower, he was writing letters to this unknown person because he didn't really know the person because they didn't do names or anything, but they knew the names of all the people in Charlie's life. But he didn't really know the person he was writing to, and that person would never send him back letters. But I don't really think, my personal opinion, I don't really think the letters truly helped Charlie. I feel like there was more of like a distraction because Charlie was also suppressing everything that happened to him up to the moment where he started getting it back on his walk back home from seeing off his friends to college. So I don't really think his letters helped him, but the fact that even after he got out of the mental hospital, or I think that's where he was. I don't remember the facility, but where he after he got out of where he was still technically writing to the person who he was writing to. So although I don't think it was impactful to him and his mental health, I feel like him having someone to still talk to and vent to was good. And sometimes we don't have that. And sometimes when we do have that, that can be taken away from us when it is used against us. This is how I cope. Oh my goodness. Dear is coming out March 6th of 2026. Don't ask me how many letters are in here. Current. This is why I like when especially when I'm writing, I never know when I'm really finished. I thought I was finished back in
Hold on. The notebook. November 23rd, 23rd of November of 2025. That's when I thought I wrote the last poem, letter. When I thought I wrote the last letter. But it was not. It was actually possibly 2 days ago.
Actually, a day ago. So I think I wrote one the other night. But honestly, I wrote from a totally new perspective of the writer, as in the sense that um, the writer did have someone, but their person was also struggling with mental health, and their person lost their battle. So I kind of wrote from that perspective. And it was actually very, very sad when I was thinking about it. Um, so there's always a new turning point. My favorite, honestly, my favorite, which is it shouldn't be my favorite one-liner is I would say it's I hate you, but it's not. Which is actually it is actually in here. I actually didn't really think about I hate you and I love you. I need you. Those are all in here. The thing is that you would think those would be like kind of like the first poem, like the first letters that someone that I would thought of, but it was actually like not. It was not. Um, where? Okay, I literally just was looking at it, which is actually insane. Oh, there's another one that says, "What is normal?" Because like, am I normal? Don't do that. Okay. Bro, I swear, I like literally. Oh, here. Pause. I'm gonna pause before it. I'm gonna pause before after. This one says, "Dear, what mean, dear, if I fight for life." Dot dot dot. Basically meaning, what do I get if I fight for life? What am I fighting for? What is the end goal? Oh, I love this one too. This one line. Do you ever think of me? I've always wondered if like people who I thought I was really good friends with, who I'm no longer friends with for whatever the circumstance may be, like, do you still think about me? Especially if we ended on good terms, do you still think about me? Exes, do you still think about me? Family members you no longer speak to, do you still think about me? Like, there's honestly so much that can go behind, like, do you still think about me, and so many different contexts. Okay, so yes, that is Dear by Mina Saint. And oh, actually, let me explain the cover a little, the cover in the back of the cover, and basically just the whole thing to you. Okay. So honestly, we have the title Dear. I actually didn't know what I was gonna name this for a while. And then I was like, how do I like let people know that this isn't just like a normal poetry book without saying it's not a poetry book for real? And then I remembered all of the covers that have poetry on it. Like literally it says, hey, this is poetry. No, this is letters. Letters. So that's what this is. So that's why it says letters at the top. And then obviously my name, clearly. And then I think this was Canva's best idea at a willow tree. Well, to me, that I liked. So this is supposed to be a willow tree. A willow tree is actually one of my actually it's my all-time favorite tree just because of how pretty it is and how mystical it is. I really want one in my own backyard, and I want it to like completely overgrow, that way that I can go inside and I can hide from everybody. Yeah. But willow tree is my favorite, and that is why it's on the cover. Okay, and then the spine, which I have to fix because it overlaps on the back, and I think I'm going to expand the lines so it overlaps on the front too. Um, but the lines is supposed to represent like a notebook paper. Get it? Cause it okay. Yeah, I don't think I need to over explain that, but yeah, notebook paper. That's what the lines is for. And then the back is kind of simple. It's simple. So I added a poem, which I think I'm gonna leave this here. Even though I saw like a video that was like, can we get back to putting synopsis on the back of the books? I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. So this is a poem. I think this is actually the last poem in the poetry book, and I'm gonna read it to you. If you can see it, you can read it, or you can read it when you get your own copy. Okay. So it says this is the poem, and then this right here is self-explanatory. Self-explanatory. And I think it really works because I have a poem on the back of here. So it says dear, and then the poem, and then it says sincerely, which is the writer. So this is actually a creative directive decision that I made just because I was like, what if I put sincerely on the back of the book, because the poems aren't technically, well, the letters aren't technically signed off. So it'd be like, dear the person who has the book, you maybe, and then you open it and you're reading it as like, these are for you, and then it goes, sincerely. I'm good, right? I'm good, right? Okay. I should have some shame. Yeah, okay. So that is the book. And actually, I do like the glossy better, so that's what this is. Not matte, but glossy. Like I said, this represents the journal, my favorite tree, the title, sincerely, because you're finishing the book. And then obviously you're reading letters. Thank you for watching.